Well, and welcome into Football.Fun with Laird. I am Andrew Laird, joined today by a very special guest who I've actually streamed with years ago on a totally different topic. He is known as AJ. You may know him as A.J. He used to be known incorrectly as A.Jott, which is a good throwback to the incorrect. But AJ, the new CFO of Football.Fun. I don't know how long we want to extend the new, but it feels very new. AJ, great to see you. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man, good to see you. Don't make us sound so old. We streamed years ago. Come on.
I mean, in a
We're
lifespan,
OGs.
I guess years. Crypto
Yeah,
makes all the timelines go very quickly. So
that's true.
we'll
That's
put
true.
that in
Yeah,
there.
no, I'd say it's still new to say I'm new role CFO at football.fun, sport.fun now as we
Correct. My
call
fault.
it.
My fault. I'm not. That's going to
No,
take
no,
me
you can
getting
call it
used
either
to.
one, but yeah. Yeah, no, I'm really excited. I actually met Adam about a year ago exactly at this point. And I heard about the idea. And, as you mentioned to the audience, I was early user in So Rare and saw all the other products that came out, right? I mean, Ultimate Champions and Footium. And of course, I was interested in all of them at the time. And over the years, again, as you mentioned, the years that we've been doing this, and through my previous role as a venture investor, I saw a lot of people trying to build sports crypto products. And, So Rare was the best one at the time, and everything else you just kind of looked at it and thought, I don't know. How's
Yeah.
it going to be better than So Rare? And anyways, I finally met Adam about a year ago, and I went into the meeting with that. I was like, come on, what do you actually have here? But after the phone call, I wrote a small angel ticket into his company because I was like, this is it. I know all the problems in sports crypto, and this is the guy. This is the guy to solve it. He knows how to solve it. And then, yeah, I became an advisor some months after that. So it was, helping them on the side. And then right around the time the game went live, and I saw, okay, people actually like this, and they're going to put actual money into this. Let me risk my entire career and well-being.
No biggie. No biggie there.
No biggie.
Yeah, so actually, I want to get into that a little bit. The point of today's show is how to actually win. You've put together this like incredible dashboard that I can't get away from because I keep looking at it, and part of it is like there's nothing from this dashboard and that what we're going to talk about today you haven't been saying for weeks, and it wasn't until literally last weekend where I had results that I've never had before. I think it was a little bit out of luck, and I'll explain all of it later. But we're going to get into basically how you really win at football.fun, because there's a way that you can kind of win, and there's a way you can really win. And we're going to talk about the differences there. But before we do that, because I haven't even talked to you kind of about this, you are the one who introduced me to football.fun. You like messaged me months ago. I mean, it was got to be February, March, sometime around then. And you were like, hey, I'm part of this project. I'd love it, and I think you'd enjoy it. And that was basically it. And I was just like, all right. And you were like, it's free to play. And I was like, all right, I'll try. And you were like, it's fun, not to like play into the whole pun there, but you were like, it's a really enjoyable game.
Yeah.
They'll have a money version later, but like try it out and see what you think. And I got it like right away. And I was like, oh, this makes sense. And so I kind of want to hear what you like from that phone call with Adam that you were like, I'm in. Was it faith in Adam that he figured this out and that he put the right team together? Or was it the concept of the game and you were like, this can't miss? Like what was it that you saw about football.fun but really, I don't know if it was sport.fun then, but like, what was it that you were like, yeah, this is it?
Yeah, he was. I mean, I think maybe in some documents it said sport.fun, but he was calling it football.fun.
Yeah.
It was both. So there was no product when I met him, right? There was just a slide deck and an idea and a big beard, and you got to fall for the beard. It's so good.
Yeah, it's very helpful and encouraging you to do things.
Yeah. No, I mean, the first thing that had me was like as soon as he said it, I was like, wait, how has nobody thought of this? Which was, instead of doing NFTs, which have their place in the world, But for like a trading game and a fantasy sports game, it's got to be tokens. It's got to be liquid tokens. You could buy $1, $100, move in and out. Doesn't worry about it. It's like, oh my gosh, that's genius. Okay, so it's like so rare, but tokens. And then he was like, and no lineups. Like this whole thing where you got to get in the top 5, and of course that will be maybe dynamic over time depending on how big the universe is or whatever. But top 5 as it is today, that blew my mind. I was like, wait. So it doesn't matter, if you own all forwards or you own some weird balance of defenders or you're not playing against some other person, or it just blew my mind that I was like, this is cool. Like, this is really cool. You're just trying to pick the best. Then there was, of course, from the beginning, his idea was like, again, if you have no lineups, you have no DMPs, which need we say more about DMPs in life. So he said enough of these things that he had the answers to right away. That I thought, yes, like I got goosebumps. I was like, this is cool. And then, the harder questions that I had to push on him, where I was like, hey man, I saw this. What happens when this many users show up? What if prices get crazy? Blah, blah. Maybe he doesn't have the exact solution, but the way I would see him think about it was like, this guy gets it. This guy gets it. And he has the hunger. And like, he literally is doing this because he wants to, right? He's just like, I want to play this game and it doesn't exist. And so I will make it.
Yeah, I think one of the kind of refreshing things about when I first talked to Adam was he has clearly tried all of these other platforms. And it's, he's like, he was really big into Football Index, which, most people know. Like, I don't know if you played Football Index. I
didn't, but
yeah, we were kind of like geo-blocked from it. So I think, I guess a blessing in disguise, but because like I would have gone heavily in Football Index if I could, and because the whole concept was great. And so when you kind of were like, hey, check this out, I was like, man, this looks a lot like Football Index, which is something that a lot of people have said. And when I remember the first time I talked to Adam, and I was like, so this kind of looks like Football Index, and he was like, I'm happy to talk about why it's different, and like I'll address that head on. He's like, because I played Football Index, and like there are clearly, you can have an experience like playing, on FI and just say I'm never doing anything like that again, or you can say, I wonder if there's a way to make this work because it was a fun, the whole thing was fun for a lot of people for a long time, and he clearly was like, let's try to just improve this process. And obviously, there are plenty of ways that you can make it different, but still fun. And so, like you said, like he was determined to make a really fun and rewarding game, and Sport.Fun is what we've got so far, which is, it's been fun for us so far.
Yeah. It's really nice to hear you say that about our first combo, because that was the sense that I got from everyone, right? They're like, why is AJ messaging me about some other game? I've got So Rare. Come on, man. Just leave me alone. And I was like, no, like really, I know this is nuts, but like this game is good. And I wouldn't put myself out there if the game wasn't good. It's not like I've been around in everyone's DMs telling them about, the 10 other football games, crypto that have existed. So yeah, I think you get it that first time you played it in the free-to-play beta. It was just like so fun just talking shit to people, just like.
Well, what's funny is that the free-to-play version, and the way that I described it to a lot of people is like, I thought the free-to-play would be very different than the pro version. And while there are like significant differences, how you win big is the same. And I was like, again, going back to when you were talking about it like months ago, when going into the Club World Cup final, and everyone was like, PSG is just going to mop the floor with everybody. And I remember I was basically like too late on PSG prices. And I was like, well, I guess I'm plowing into Cole Palmer. And then it was like, holy shit, this worked. Like this really worked. And it's like, again, like, I think it was just kind of my own, I don't want to call it laziness, because that doesn't give me any credit, but like I was too late on getting into PSG.
And that was smart. You realized, okay, am I going to pay the high price for PSG? Maybe they win, but like, how much am I going to win then? And that's the game. Like, of course, if we could all have Yamal at 1 cent, we would do that. But he's not 1 cent. So, okay, where else can I get points from? And that's the game. It is a game of two things that I think people haven't really played before. Because like in So Rare, Nobody looks at a winning lineup and goes, yeah, well, how much did you pay for that? I mean, somewhat a little bit they do if it's like all elite guys, like, oh, but nobody's like analyzing the ROI specifically on that card, right?
Yeah, and I think
maybe tell me if I'm wrong, but like that is part of Football.Fun is, okay, well, everyone has finite amount of money that they can play with. Okay, I'm coming in with $1,000. I want to win the most. That's kind of the game. You could also not. You're just like, I love Mbappe. I'm going to own him. Cool. Like I own Mbappe. But yeah, you want to win the most. So you have to think about price in relation to performance, which I think is just very different.
Yeah. And even so, it's the way that I was looking through like the dashboard that you put together and then like the loom about it. And it was like, it's not even just what's the best way I can, or what's the most I can make on my $1,000, but it was like, I can make money with lots of different ways. And it's like, do I want to make, 3% every week and for the rest of the time, or do I want to make 30% every 10 or whatever it is? And if you can basically, at its core, it's still fantasy football. So like we can still look at it and say, for this specific weekend, I can put all of my resources in one player. And if that works out, like I'm going to get rewarded massively for it. Or I just follow everybody else, buy some Yamal shares and just.
Yeah. Or you do a split. It's really not binary. True. This is going to sound boring, but it's talking about people's real world financial portfolios, and that, most people aren't going to put their whole net worth into a meme coin, and nor should you. But sure, if it works out, yeah, you look like a genius and you're rich, but like, don't do that. People, right? This is why you have wealth managers, and they tell you, okay, let's put 60% in bonds and 30% in the stock market and 10% in Bitcoin maybe, or whatever, right? You have different risk classes that you allocate different amounts of your money to. And that's sort of what I'm trying to get across here is like, depending on your style, yeah, Mbappe and Yamal, Kane, Holland, like it may not look exciting each week, just like bonds and stocks may not look exciting each week. But then after a year, you're like, oh, wow, it's up 20% or whatever. Like, that was good. Same concept here. So you can play it any way you want, and you can play a mix. So I think a lot of people should do this is like keep your elite superstars and just like, they're going to do well, keep contracts refreshed. Maybe you move in and out of them a little bit, right? You trim or you add depending on injuries or price. And then you have fun in your pocket over here. We're like, all right, like who's really cheap? And oh shit, like we'll get into it. But like this midweek, I was like, ooh, and Mecha and Job Bellingham, they are very cheap and they actually have one of the best matchups. I was like, why wouldn't I buy some of them? Because sure, 80% chance it doesn't work out, but it does work out.
Yeah. And not even just the price, and they probably correlate a little bit, but it's even just like how many active shares are there. And you're like, that was another thing that I remember in like the pro version of the game, in the free version before pro launched. And it was just like analyzing like how many shares are there of each player. And it's like, wait, this guy is actually quite low. So like if the more shares I buy of that guy, I own a bigger share of the pie, and I'll win a little more. The one thing that I meant to bring up before, talking about like lineups and all that stuff. I remember when Adam was like, we're only going to have the top 200 players at like most, maybe 250. And I was like, can you really build like an entire game just around 200 and 250 people or players? And he was like, well, you want to be able to know who the guys are. And it immediately took me back to both when I like joined So Rare and frankly, when I still play it now, where I'm like, all right, who is this Korean goalkeeper I've never heard of that I 3 years ago paid $900 for? And it's like not having to do that it's like refreshing. And I like being able to talk about Football.Fun and mention the players that I'm thinking about, and whoever I'm talking to is like, I know that guy. And it's not like who are you talking about? And
it's not like maybe the guy behind you right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And every European is like, who are you talking about?
Right. Yes. Plenty there. But it's just, it makes the game more accessible just from like a mindset standpoint of if you're trying to talk to somebody about the game and how to play it, and you're like, look at these are the players in the game, and they're like, I know who they are. and I see them in Champions League games and when I watch it. And so it makes the even just starting easier because your depth of research doesn't have to go insanely far to who's the backup for the third team in Turkey and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I can't undersell that or oversell that more. Undersell. I don't even know what. Either way, I think it's just super important to have just that player base. And we're at 140 now. And like whenever we'll talk about the scouting, when scouting starts and all that, because that's just another layer of the game that will keep people interested.
Right. The nerds like us will be living in scouting, but you don't have to tell your friends to onboard them to the game. Like, no, scouting.
Right.
This is the hardcore stuff. Yeah.
So I want to jump into the dashboard. Before we do that, I just want to explain basically like why I had the most successful tournament I've had on Football.Fun last week. And it basically came after the last round of founders packs. And so I basically like max bought the founders packs in each time that I could. And what was interesting about the last group was I was talking to a couple people about it. And we're just like, there are no like superstars in this last one. And they're like some good players, but like nobody's crazy. And kind of the group of people that I talked to about it, we try not to have like overwhelming portfolios of like we don't want to own all 140 players. So it's kind of like everyone's between probably 30 and 50. And so when the founders packs come out, it's like, all right, which guys do I want to keep? And I felt like with this last one, I was like, I know the ones I don't want. And so I got rid of those, but like the ones that I wasn't sure on, I was like, I'm going to keep them for a little bit. And then this recent tournament happens, and the guys that I kept were like Stiller, Grimaldo, Mittelstadt, and like they didn't Sanchez from Chelsea. And I was like,
yeah.
And all of those guys finished like top 3 at their position. And all of a sudden I look down and I'm like, holy shit, I'm winning a lot. And I'm like, how did that happen? And I was just like, at first it was like, oh, I just own more guys, so I'm winning more tournament points. But then it was like, these guys just don't have that many active shares. And like, I happen to own more shares of them than I'd had of other guys that I had. I also happen to have like bought Greenwood like 2 weeks ago. And so that paid off a little bit as well. But like,
nice.
It was like the clearest example of this is why you buy the guys that not everybody is going to have, because when they succeed, and they also just happen to succeed immediately after I got them. And like, I'm not even sure I would have bought them had I not gotten the packs. Like that was kind of what I felt like. I was like, yes, I think they're good players. I wouldn't have bought as many shares as I ended up with, but I had them. And I was like, I don't necessarily want to sell them right away. And it was eye-opening to see the difference in tournament points won with those types of players, as opposed to, because I've had Yamal the whole time. Pedri's my highest holding. And it's like, he finishes top 5. It's fine. You get tournament points. It's fine. But like, like I said, it was like eye-opening. And then you came out with this this dashboard.
I think I had the dashboard just before the weekend or right around the weekend. Yeah. No, I'm glad that was all good timing. I'm glad, the football gods could work with me on that. I've known this because, and as you said, like we kind of knew it from the beta, and I know this just because I'm running all my own analytics because I'm obsessed. And I was like, guys, this is the way to win. And as you said, like you might have seen me say that in a Discord here or there, but we have not done a great job of showing that in the UX of the game, like explaining to people other than, okay, the price looks a few cents difference. What's the big deal? And it's like, no, it's actually a very big deal. And so the devs are, gonna get to that, and they're quick, so they're gonna get to it. But I was like, I want people to feel what you're feeling right now. I want them to feel it sooner, because like it's really fun when you hit on these guys.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest difference is, when you buy Mbappe and Yamal and Pedri or Elise, Kane, I hate to say this, like there's an expectation you're going to win with those guys. but
and you
you
will
also
win, but to what degree?
exactly. And so that's what it is. It's like, okay, they're top 5 and it doesn't feel like it moves the needle that much. When you hit a guy that's not one of those and they're in the top 5, it moves the needle. I'll tell you that much. And it's just, I like the way that you put it. And I can actually just pull it up here, or if you wanted to pull up, but
maybe I will let you do it. Yeah, just so I don't break the stream.
All right.
But
so,
I was like sitting here, like, I'm like, how do I explain this? And somehow it hit me, TP per $100.
Yeah. So this is the dashboard. I don't know if I dropped. For anybody watching back, it'll be the link to this will be in the description on YouTube. So, and I'll drop it on Twitter as well. It's also like easily found in the Sport.Fun Discord and stuff like that. So anyway, it's all public though, which is nice because I was trying to like put some of this together, and then you came out with this, and I was like, well, my job's over. Like that project's done. I'll just let AJ take over this. But it's a very clear example. Just when you, as you said, you're looking at it as like a per $100. If you put $100 into shares of each player, how many tournament points would you win? And it's like, yeah, we know Mbappe has scored a ton of tournament points. And some of that is like, he was obviously in the first launch and has played more, but he's also very expensive. And so the calculation is essentially like, yeah, you win 172 tournament points when over his career. But then you just like, all right, well,
thus far, 2 months.
Thus far, right. And then it's like, all right, well, what are the other numbers? And it's very clear. And then you're like, 1293? What? And that's when you start to figure it out. Basically,
and it's players that you love to hate too. You're like Laird. Like I was complaining to the team internally. I was like, guys, why did you add Laird? I'm like, why is he in the game?
He was such an he was such an easy sell for me, and I think he literally finished first or second, like the week I sold him. So he's had back-to-back firsts. I think one of them was with Spain, and I was like, I remember that, and I was like, oh, that was stupid. Like I felt stupid getting rid of him before that, and I was like, all right. But
I mean, also before, like, to be fair, before he got that first, like I didn't even know he was capable of scoring that many points. Sure, he had a 154 in there, but like I was like, this is a guy who will just like never go over 100 points.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently not.
Yeah, he's showing us. And obviously, like raw points matter, but it's also totally in context of how many points did they score versus everybody else that tournament. And so, you know, if you need, well, the one, like even 154, and we'll get into like the whole other, like the positional thing. Cause I remember the first time I talked to Adam and he was like, you can have any players you want. And I've long just hated goalkeepers in fantasy football because it's just like, it just feels like they're so variable. And I just, you know, one mistake from somebody else and they're just totally ruined. And, but so he was like, you don't have to own any goalkeepers. And I was like, I could get into this game. Like that almost sold me in itself. But just looking at like 183 here for like was first, 147 was first. And like forwards, you're very rarely going to be the top forward.
Right.
And you win the same number of tournament points, whether you're the first forward or the first defender. And again, like one of the looms you put together said that. And I was just like, damn it, he's right.
And like, it's not, look, we all love the forwards. That's why we watch. Not watching for Laird, but like, if you want to win some more tournament points, maybe buy some goalkeepers.
I'll try to do it on the defenders. But
on the defenders,
was there anything that, as you put this together, like jumped out at you, or you were like, I didn't realize this, or is it just kind of, like I said, you've been preaching this for months.
They've seen it in the loom. It shocked me. Like I have not been a goalkeeper person. I'm like, like, you know, I own a couple of the good ones, especially the international starters. I'm like, I can just own this guy forever. Like it's fine. Oblak, who I especially hate because I'm just sorry for your athletic poster back there, but like, I just can't stand the way they play. But my goodness, I was like, oh shit, I have to own this guy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And you're right. Like they will go weeks and weeks without hitting. And you're just like, oh, and the team is so bad. And you just like want to sell. But then look at him. First, second. Like, you do it. You do it because you're like, So anyways, I as you said with Sanchez, not only did I not sell my shares in the founders packs, like I doubled up. And even though he's not an international starter, I was just like, the guy scores crazy points, and it's not really going to show up in this chart, but
not yet. Yeah.
I think he's going to be very
the
good.
funny one for me was, I skipped him somewhere. Oh, there he is. Was Matthias Sula from Roma.
Like that? Yeah.
So,
well, I had a guy yelling at me in Discord on the previous founders pack. He was like, "Why no Roma players? Why no Roma players?" And I was like, "Are there any good players on Roma?" And I went and looked, and I was like, "Oh shit."
So, full disclosure, I literally had never heard of him, and I saw that he was in one of these founders packs, and I was like, how is there a game that at this point is going to be the top 140 players in the world? And I've literally never heard of this guy. Now, I will admit, Serie A got dropped by Sorare, and so I basically like don't pay attention to it at all. My fault, because I looked at this guy's stats and I was like, this is exactly the kind of guy that everybody should want, because Roma are pretty good this year. He looks like he takes all the set pieces. He's like 24. He's from Argentina, and you're just like, how? What? Where did this guy come from? And he's like the founders packs game,
right? Aren't they in Europa?
They play today. I don't know if it's Europa or conference, whatever it is. I think they play Victoria
conference. So yeah,
Victoria Pilsen today, and I'm like, all right, here we go. I think that's today, and I bought more of him. Like he went from somebody I had never heard of to I am literally tripling down on this guy, and he's like, this sounds very offensive.
Pull up the forwards. Let's see where he lands here.
It feels offensive because of how I'm going to say this, but like he's my meme coin.
Oh, I love it. No, that's what we. Okay, I was just on another call right before this. So I was explaining Football.Fun to them, and I was like, we sit at the intersection of fantasy sports, prediction markets, which is a hot thing right now, right? Polymarket, Kalshi, and meme coins. That is really where I think this game is somewhere in that Venn diagram.
I think it fits, and it's not like it's not an insult. It's just kind of like where it is.
Hey, we love meme coins, right? I mean,
yeah, for sure.
Who doesn't want some Pepe?
And so, he hasn't played a game yet, or like he hasn't played an
Okay,
FTS
so it'd be on the tournament rewards page is where we would see his outsized potential.
But yeah, I just like I said, I just went from I don't know who this guy is to let me get more of him. Here he is.
Yeah, so he's at 620.
I mean, I'd love it to just hit first today. That's what I need.
And like the cool thing is, like 620 is actually, it's very good. Like you want to target that, but it's not as crazy as some other guys. But then that's why I added like the second, third, fourth, fifth, because like lots of times we're in this situation like, hey, I think first and second place are locked out. There's no way someone scoring more than that. But then you look at third, fourth, fifth, and you're like, if he even gets fourth place, he'll win me more tournament points per 100 than Mbappe would in first. So it's like, that's a good deal.
I think that's literally one of the most overlooked things on the platform is like being able to generate more from a different player finishing third than the top guy finishing first. And I think early on when I was like, oh, the way to win here is you get Kane and Olise and have them finish first, second, and you're fine. And it's not that it wasn't rewarding enough, but like you win and you're just like, thought I'd win more. And it's like, no, you can't win more because everybody's winning from that one. So it's just a matter of like figuring out like how much do you use this like mid tournament?
Me
to trade?
Oh, this is like all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there on the actual game screen, right? I'm like, okay, maybe I've done okay so far, but like what games are left? What good matchups are there? And like you can have all sorts of fun in the game, but where's the value, right? So then I have this on the other screen, and it's like, who's actually good if they're going to get third, fourth, fifth? Because I think first and second are locked out. I was doing that over the weekend, as I'm sure many people were, when I hit on Anthony, and I was like, oh, Anthony got first. let's look at second, third, fourth. Like nobody's going to pass him. And still, I've owned a lot of Greenwood from the beginning. I have not touched him. I just keep adding because I was like, I know this guy is crazy. And the fact that he got first was wild. But yeah, I was using that midterm because I was like, even if this guy only gets second or third, I was like, it's a great payoff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember I loaded up on Greenwood like weeks ago, and it was some game where he I loaded up. I don't even remember who they played, but he missed a penalty and had like 2 other big chances missed and didn't finish top 5. And I was like, man, that was so close to being just explosive. And I was very close to just like rage selling because I was like, maybe this is just the wrong thing. And I hate to put Mason Greenwood up here at any moment, but like it was the example of, do I just hold on to it and wait until it hits? And I didn't necessarily need to, I didn't feel the need to reallocate any of my my resources to other players at the time. And so they had just kind of been sitting there, like the shares had been sitting there. And then last week, game week happened, he scores 4 goals. And it's like, oh, that's why I held on to him. There we go. Finally.
Yeah.
Do you spend more time like trading based on market prices, or are you just accumulating for tournament points?
Yeah, I'm not a trader. I'm not. I enjoy the game too much. And even during the beta, when it was free, I wasn't a trader. And there was people who were running laps around me, like before the tournament ended, they're like, oh, I've already made this much gold from trading. And I'm just like, that's frustrating. But then the tournament points would come in and I'm like, okay, now I'm happy. That's why I play the game. But I am happy that the world exists where if somebody wants to trade, like they can, like, go ahead, have a blast.
Yeah, I just haven't gotten into it. And I think
there's some, like if I'm trading, it's because I think they're going to be good at some point, not because I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna flip this guy on some news. It's like Amad Diallo. I mean, Homer, he's a Man U player, so of course I like him. But I'm also just like, people don't understand how good this kid is, and like it could take months, but like he's gonna be worth a lot more in the future.
I was one of those people who's like, why is he in the game?
Nah, man. Okay, here, clear this a little bit. Like, let's see his tournament. Oh, he doesn't have a midweek. Okay, maybe go to like last weekend. The 17th. Yeah. And just click anywhere. It should reset a little bit. Where's Diallo? No, he's got to be near the top. Where is he? Right here, click in the chart down below, like where it's empty. It should kind of clear whatever we were doing.
I'll just give it.
Click the forward filter again on the right. Sorry. Yeah.
This is what happens. You're like, I swear he's good, and now we have to take forever to find him.
That's true. It's true. Okay, but they got to change the tournament to go to last weekend. Yeah, maybe I'm wrong there. Okay, I mean, you can see him on the chart. His name is like right at the top with Jonathan David, and his average score is not shitty. You know what I mean? Like, dude, what is that? 2,700 tournament points per 100.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, he's going to hit at some point. Like, we just beat Liverpool. We're doing something right, maybe, hopefully, and he's heavily involved in that. Right? He was involved in the first goal with Mbuemo, so. I think he's like a Greenwood type play where like if we can finally get a shitty team that we play against. I mean, I guess we had Sunderland 2 weeks ago, but like Man U's had the hardest schedule thus far in the Premier League. We should get a little bit easier run of games. If we can play like Everton or Wolves. I think we play Wolves within like a 3-week span twice, which is kind of fun. I think that's when you want to own him.
That's it. All right.
Telling you, man.
I own 0.
And that's the fun of the game. Same with Jonathan David. Come on, you're a so rare guy. Like, Jonathan David can cook.
So that's a hilarious example that you brought up. So David, like I never sold my David shares from the founders pack. And it was like, clearly nobody believes in Jonathan David based on his share price. And it got to a point where I was like, well, I'm in now. Like I might as well just keep holding this because when
Yeah.
nobody else.
It was like less than 1 cent, right? It was like ridiculous.
Yeah. And I think the way that totally the way I think of it now is like I'm imagining anyone. I don't think many people own his shares, and anyone who does, if his contract expire, I don't think anybody. They're like, I'm not going to pay the 14 cents to get 8 more games out of this guy, and so. Yeah, I will victory lap it if he ever gets a top 5. I never owned him on So Rare, and I've just like
oh really? You never did?
He was like one of those OG guys that I just like never had.
Okay. Wasn't he? What was he like? Gank and Leo?
Yeah.
Man. Okay.
Yes. Was
That's
it Gank or Gent?
And he has Canadian internationals.
Sure. Yep.
Or maybe he was on Ghent. Yeah. Sorry. I forgot. I've lost touch with the Belgian league.
Yeah. No worries there. But yeah. So like like I said, when I will have a total like I told you so. But I always believed in him when it was really just I was too late. I was like, oh, I'll just hold these shares now.
That seems to have worked for you in the Club World Cup. Yeah, just run it back.
And literally this past weekend with Stiller and Middles. And of course, now I'm like, should I buy more? Whereas everybody else is like, oh, maybe I should get this guy too. Because I think there was a line our good friend PSU fans too said. He was like, I didn't know Stiller had this in him. And now it's like, now we know.
He does. Yeah.
I didn't even notice how much of an outlier David was right here.
It's crazy. And it's a little bit unfair because the devs are not uploading, like we have all the Opta stats, right?
Yeah.
But we have to like run it through our score matrix. And then there's this thing where like, if it didn't happen in a tournament while they were live in the game, it's not getting added. So like all his historical stats, which we will add them at some point. I'm pushing the devs. I'm like, guys, like we have the numbers, just run it through the matrix and put it in there so people can see. It's kind of sucks if you can't see his scoring history. But yeah, Jonathan David's a new ad, and he's had 2 very unfortunate games. I think he had like a -10 and like a 5, and it's just like everyone's like, "What is this? This guy's terrible." It's like, no, I promise. I added him because he's not shitty.
And we were talking about how absurd Diallo's first per 100, and David's is even higher.
I mean, just get 5th place. What is his 5th place? It's probably better than Mbappe if he gets first. 100% it is. Yeah. So you're not even like that would be. I mean, you can even click the top 5 stats tab, the one right next to the one you're on, at the top, next to you ever. Like to get 5th place as a forward, yeah, the average is 119 points. It's that orange section at the top left. Yeah, I think he can score 119 points 1 week.
Just needs to be not everybody else is scoring 224.
No, but that's fine. I mean, but this is the average, right? So that's every tournament, even going back to the beta. Sure, there's some high weeks where it's like, what's it, 178, 193? Like, sure, not those weeks, but all the other weeks where it's like more reasonable, he can totally get top 5.
I mean, I expect to hear from you when it happens. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least some sort of Discord
there will be a
tweet. Yeah, Twitter.
It might be in my drafts already, you know. And I'm gonna add an at Laird to it now.
There you go. Yeah. And I'll sit there with my shares at 0.9 cents, saying like, I told you so.
Yeah, we're gonna win an insane amount of tournament points. It's gonna be hilarious.
That's exactly it. And then just win.
You can miss on everybody else that weekend too. As long as you hit on David, it's just like, I'm good.
But that's actually like I was gonna say like a realistic outcome, but I don't necessarily mean it about David. But the reason to speculate on guys like David, and I feel like we've gone way too far without like this is not financial advice notice.
It's definitely not.
But sometimes like the reason you buy guys like David or Sula or Diallo is when I'll say when I was gonna say if when they get top 1, top 3, top 5, like that could be more rewarding than all of your other weeks because nobody's touching these guys.
Yeah. And it's not an expensive endeavor to park some shares over there. That is the beauty of it. It's not like, well, I could have, X number of shares in Mbappe or David. No. Those are vastly different worlds. Like, chuck $100 into, depending on what your budget is. Like, I don't know if you want to pull up your gallery or you don't want to share your numbers on the screen. But like, if you were to just go to David and just do the laughable exercise. Okay. So you go and you hit buy. Somebody's been accumulating him because they were using the dashboard.
Wait a minute. Here we go.
Made a big buy. Probably Maxime and Zura. I think they love cheap guys.
Yeah, I'm sitting on 10,000 shares.
Nice. Right. Okay. So if you were to hit buy, let's say you didn't have any though, you're somebody who's like, well, what's the point? Dude, like type in $100. Dude, you can get almost 8,000 shares of this guy. Like now, and then go to Mbappe and try to get 8,000 shares of Mbappe.
But so
it's not gonna happen.
Before I do that though, like I'm getting 8,000 shares and there's only 2.5 million in the active supply. Like Mbappe, I don't think he's at 3.5 million. 3.6. Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, so now try to type in 8,000 shares or flip the thing.
Yeah, I'm trying. Oh yeah, I forgot you could do that.
Yeah. So it's a 32 times price difference, not even including the circulating supply. So if you go back to the dashboard, I think it's on the career tab. Let's see which tab it's on. On one of them, I have the market cap. Maybe scroll to the right on the table. Yeah. So really the active market cap is.
I'm not sure I knew that was there.
Sorry. Yeah. In the charts, I'm using price because that's what people are used to seeing in the game. But I kind of do the math for you where it just multiplies the price by the active shares. Yeah. You might have to click it one more time to make it sorted.
I was literally just going to go straight to the bottom to find David. There, oh my God, he actually is.
So it's a $30,000 market cap versus Mbappe was almost 2 million.
Yeah, 1.7 million for Mbappe. Oh no, that's Yamal. Sorry, Mbappe is 1.5 million.
That is the value difference between them. Truly, maybe I should move that column over. Sorry. So it's not even just price. I have a little process that I run. It takes like 5 to 10 minutes, but I have to like open a program and take time out of my day to do it. But I'm happy to do it, but I try to do it like once a day.
And is the thought that this becomes part of the FDF site, or is it somewhere like?
Yeah. This is just like a placeholder. Ideally, all of this goes into the game. I have a whole document that we're working on with the dev team and stuff. And it's like, here's the stats that I want in the game. I actually want like another tab in the game. Like basically when you're on the transfers page, there's a lot of blank space in there right now. It's like player's name, blank, price. And I'm like, guys, here's the stats that we need. Yeah, look at that. All that white space. Obviously mobile will be a different story, but like that should be average score, number of times in number of times in the rewards, TP per $100 won. Hopefully I can get that in the game. Active market cap. Yeah. And then be able to sort by all those, be able to filter by all that. Yeah. Then I think you start getting some really cool stuff.
Yeah, that sounds great.
You're like, yeah, when's that going?
Yeah. Would love to have all of
that. What are the devs doing right now? Can they?
Yeah, nothing's changed in like 3 hours. So what could they possibly be doing?
I think there is actually a good update coming this week with some cool stuff.
There we go.
Yeah, we were just testing it.
Let's talk about the fact that it's sport.fun and not football.fun because we have some more stuff coming. And Adam kind of mentioned this months ago where he was like, yeah, I think we'll do other sports. And it seemed like very quickly NFL got kind of leaked, announced, whatever it was, that's where you guys wanted to go with it. How do you see that platform working? I mean, obviously you guys were kind of adamant, like it's all one platform. Everything's going to be connected. So you can kind of go from one sport to another. I think there was, I'm trying to think of who, it might have been you, who was like, at some point you'll be able to trade like Mbappe for Mahomes shares and stuff like that. Yeah. What's sort of the plan, or what do you guys envision for at least NFL? Because it sounds like that's going to be the first one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but the URL is now sport.fun/football.
Right.
So we've already done that hard work. Now it's very simple to add NFL/NFL. It'll just be a toggle. We can go from one sport to the next. Your balance will be the same. It's the same wallet. You don't have to move funds around. It's like I saw you had a balance there. If NFL was live today, boom, you go over to the NFL transfer page and start buying people. But yeah, in terms of how we'll work,
go buy some Diallo first.
You do. Oh man, imagine if he hits this weekend. Wait, who's Juventus playing this weekend?
Oh, I'm not buying more David. No, I'll buy Diallo.
I'm gonna check. Hang on. Okay, he has Lazio this weekend. They're not that good. Then he has Udinese, then Cremonese. Oh, and then he has Torino. Oh my God, what a dream run! Yeah, I'm gonna have to buy more. Okay, sorry, we're talking about multiple sports, not.
Yes.
So, how did NFL come up faster? The demand has just been crazy, man. I mean, there's people in the game who are very big already in football who are like also win NFL because I love both sports. And then there's a whole bunch of people who are like, hey, we love what you're doing. We think you guys are onto something. I just know nothing about soccer and I'm not going to touch it. Please take my money. There was just enough of that it's like, man. And I think also like we wanted to show that like this really is a multi-sports platform. We know more than football, and it is really not that difficult to add other sports. I mean, it's the dev work, but it's also, we got to think about other pieces, but it's not that difficult. Mm-hmm. We don't need the licenses, so we can just do it. And then I think it becomes like a way more fun experience. It's already fun, but like, sports end or there's international breaks, or it's like, there's those periods where like, what have I been doing now? Like imagine if there's NFL and NBA and baseball and tennis and F1 and golf, like you could just, and then you, man, I mean, I'm sorry, I'm getting too excited thinking about that. Like all the different sports and athletes and teams you're going to follow. And like, again, imagine one of these dashboards where it's multi-sport.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my gosh, this one golfer, like he's got a 10,000 TP for $100. Like, I don't really know who he is, but like, that sounds cool. Let me go watch this guy swing a club.
That's kind of a bigger vision than I had. I think mostly because I was just like, oh, they'll just do, NFL, NBA, and maybe baseball. I don't know if
to stop.
I feel like there's because it started with, and I'll use your get out of jail card with calling it soccer, since we also have American football to talk about. But it's going from this like worldwide game, and then like MLB seems to be quite concentrated. Like NFL obviously is only playing in America also, but I think it's starting to get a little bit more of a European audience at least. They play like a bunch of games over there now, but I guess I just hadn't really sat down and thought of like,
NFL. Oh, okay.
NFL. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
I hadn't really thought like, golf or F1 or tennis. And
I'm really intrigued. There's people who've been pushing me on this. Like, I'm really intrigued by individual athlete sports like that, right? Where you're not dependent on the team. It actually almost aligns to the way our game is set up better.
A little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah. And like golf is so interesting because the schedule, it's Thursday to Sunday. Like that's it every week. There's everyone's playing at the exact same time, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. The pushback that I had, I'll put it that way, on NFL was like, well, what happens when the season's over? And it's like, it's almost like you guys aren't building it as, well, you're not. It's all on one platform. So it's like, you just move to the other sports, and it's
like NFL ends, and then it's like, you can go play MLS, MLB, NHL, golf, tennis. Like there'll be something always, all the time. That's the long term. Like we will be in a state where you could just follow any and every sport that you want. Mm-hmm. So you'll be less concerned. Now, specifically as NFL will be the second sport, and there will be an off season where we don't have as many other sports to fill the void. I think for this off season, and maybe it continues for others, we will have incentives, let's say, to hold. There will be, I don't know, even I won't leak this much yet. I'll wait for Adam to do that. But
well, I think that's probably the most important thing you guys have to figure out. And it's like, there's not.
We have it figured out pretty much. Okay. Maybe I'll say something like this. Like, let's say you hold on to, and like, it is not our business to like make prices of athletes stay at a certain level.
Sure.
Like I on the team, I'm on the free market end of the spectrum where I'm like, if people hate this guy, let him sell. Like, what do we care? They're going to put the money into somebody else. So like, it's all the same. But in this case, where it's a new sport and we're launching it halfway through the season, let's say that it's one account. So there will be bonuses across all the sports. That's one thing for sure. Like if you hold your NFL players, and it's a tactical decision. It's not to say you're going to be punished and you're not allowed to sell your NFL players at the end of the season. But if you're like, hey, I love the roster I have, I'm going to want these guys for next season. Cool. I'm going to get bonuses on my tournament points for soccer. Sweet. And maybe, we will do some other things. I'm going to wait for Adam to leak them, but we'll do multiple things like that where you're not like, oh my God, I have to sell because it's going to be worthless and my money's wasted. It's like,
right.
It'll be rewarding.
Yeah. I think that was one of the more,
like maybe even early access to scouting, right? If you continue to hold your NFL players,
right.
Maybe you're the first people to get access to the scouting, which means the new players we will add the next season / the rookies, of course. That's a nice benefit. Essentially access to, we won't really be doing founders packs once we get scouting live, but if you're the first person to be able to buy, the top 10 draft picks at sniper price,
right?
It's hard to put a value on that. Yeah. But
I hadn't heard that phrase before. Sniper price.
Yes. This is a meme coin phrase. Yeah. That is what we say internally about the founders packs. Like when you get your founders packs, they're all sitting at that 0.0125. I mean, that's sniper price. That's what like the very sophisticated bots do on Pump Fun. They all get that first price, and then so it's just a funny term.
Okay.
Also, Adam is European, and I keep having to tell him that like gun violence is a real thing in America. He's always like, yeah, like guns. Let's do like some shooting stuff. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
It's not a joke over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. A little lost in translation over the ocean. Yeah. So should we expect to see, I hate to like make you guesstimate on a time frame. I actually am less concerned about NFL because it seems like you guys are pretty adamant about getting that launched soon. I mean, it's mid-season. What has to happen with those products, with like soccer's continuation, NFL, to see another sport get launched at that point? Because there are people that I know, they're like, I'm not really interested in NBA, but like I would love hockey or I would love basketball. And like, is the idea that we see those before the current seasons are over, or should we not get our expectations that high?
NBA, I think, could do a similar thing to NFL, where we get it out early next year, where it's like around, the All-Star break halfway through the season. I think that's possible. We don't want to be launching halfway in the season, but we do want to get out there into the major sports that everyone's demanding and show like the cool multi-sport holistic vision that we have. So I think NBA, that could happen. And then the others are sort of less pressing.
Sure.
We'll revisit. And I think at that time, once we have like soccer, NFL, NBA, there's some other things I want to look at before we expand into other sports, but it doesn't mean we'll add any. And just like the team is so good about thinking through everything. Like the team is seriously so good, man. They understand all the angles, and we look at all the angles and we look at the data, and then just the vibe. Like Adam has such a good pulse. He will just say something and we're always like, oh yeah, that's it. You kind of just like you get the feeling, you're like, that's it. That's what we should do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it would be more like we're going to do the right thing on launching sports. It won't be so many that people feel overwhelmed and left behind and diluting and all this. And we won't take so long that it's like, Ryan, did they, was AJ lying about this, multi-sport vision? What's going on? No, I think we're going to always strike at the right balance.
I think the best thing that I like, the best part of the experience is that it genuinely feels like everything has been really thought of and debated and discussed before you guys go out with anything. And there
Is
were,
that new, Laird? Is that not how it works on the others? sorry to put you on the spot. I know, no, I'm laughing because it is also crypto at large. It is like novel to be like, oh my god, they actually thought about this. They didn't just, like,
well,
random.
so yeah, it's comforting to see that everything has been really thought out, and clearly like lessons have been learned from other platforms. But there were even a couple times where Adam was like, like the whole like skill points and tournament points, and like it wasn't really working, and people would bring up things, and he was like, all right, like it's not working how we thought it would, and so we'll think about this, and like we'll come up with a solution. And given how much energy and mind space went into every other decision, you would leave that and be like, they really are going to think about this. Like, they're not just be like, oh yeah, we'll just come up with some solution and just do that. Like, it seems like literally everything is just so thought out, with the goal of, we want this platform to be fun and rewarding for people. And it can't be too rewarding that we go bankrupt, or people, you win so much that it almost is meaningless. And the game itself, like, I have people talking about Football.Fun during a tournament more than any other game. And like people who had played Sorare for years, and they're just like, yeah, I have my Sorare cards. I'll find out in a few days how I did, and are literally sweating Harry Kane big chances missed from Football.Fun, knowing what happens, because it's a top 5, and is he going to stay in top 5? Who's going? And they're really
isn't that fun?
passionate.
Because because everyone can have a piece of him, right?
Yes.
It's not like someone's lineup is doing so well that it doesn't matter what happens to Kane, or it's doing so bad that they're out. Yeah. Everyone's on the same page.
I think there's a really nice like community support for specific players, because like you said, like we can all own the same players, and you, as weird as it sounds, like you winning more means I win, or you owning more means I win less, just based on like percentage of who's there. But like, we're both still winning, and I'm winning in how do I want to put this? I'm winning in relation to like the amount that I own. Like the amount you own doesn't matter. Somebody else could own the shares, and like doesn't matter. So like we are both really hoping that Jonathan David finishes first this week.
Yeah. You will win the same amount relative to your size, as anybody else. Yeah.
Right.
No, I'm really happy to hear that people are sweating it and enjoying it. And we haven't even done all the community things we can do either. Like you remember from the beta, we had teams.
Yes.
Right, where you would like squad up with people, and that was really fun to be like, okay, guys, like I need the rest of you to perform well so that our team wins. So you get these team strategies. So we'll obviously do that as soon as we figure out exactly how to work in pro. And then you may see it on the site. We have like some empty placeholders where there will be social, there will be news. Yeah. So like we're gonna start bringing in all the news and probably like big moments as well. And it'll be kind of like a troll box, or like the Sleeper Fantasy app. Where it's just like always like news and highlights and things happening, and people can comment and emoji and stuff. So like we want, I mean, Discord's great, but we want to bring all that into the main app. So everyone's in there being like, Kane missed another big chance. They had another big chance missed. What happened? Right. So we want to bring exactly what you're talking about even closer to the game.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Last question, because I've taken up a good amount of your time here. What's your favorite thing about Sport.Fun?
Probably about the game and the product itself is what you just said, where everyone's sort of cheering or hating against the same thing, depending on what they own or not. That community aspect. Yeah, you go in the Discord and everyone's like, oh my gosh, Greenwood, this is crazy, because everyone's impacted the same way. If you own or don't own is really the only difference, not relation to how much. That's probably my favorite thing about the game. But really my favorite thing is what you were alluding to a little bit before. It's just like the team, the people that work at Sport.Fun. It's like unbelievable. Everyone is so good at what they do. Like I don't have to think about the other departments, like the devs, marketing, operations, even down to like the mods, man, like community managers, like everything. I know that like whatever their role is to play, they're gonna smash it. and it like feels so nice, and like everyone understands how all those pieces work together.
Mhm.
It's not like of course Adam is the founder and the CEO, and but he doesn't have to like tell everyone what to do. He just sort of is like, here's the vision, here's what we're going for this week or this month or this year, and like everyone just knows where to plug in and what to do, and like it's just really, really nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
AJ, it was great talking to you. Appreciate that. Like I said, the link to the dashboard will be in the description of this video on YouTube and on Twitter. I'll just drop it on under the tweet with the video, so everybody can check that out. I almost like don't want a lot of people using it yet, so that so we can keep.
You don't want to like normalize all the prices,
yeah. But we'll see. But anyway,
but that's kind of the great thing, man. Is like if everyone goes and buy Jonathan David, his price goes up, and so you're like, maybe I'll sell half. Maybe then I'll go find the next guy.
Yeah.
Now because that some people probably sold someone else to go buy David. Now all of a sudden, so there's going to be a constant game of hunting.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for coming. Thank you for watching. AJ, good to talk to you. And for everyone out there, don't forget to go outside.